So let's have a look at the Continia autonomous agent within Business Central. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you share.
So once again, a quick check. Can you see my screen?
We can.
All right. Perfect. So great turnout today. Thank you all for joining and spending time this half hour with Simply Dynamics and myself. Thank you, Willy, for introducing me. Really short before we start the webinar, before we start the demo. My name is Michiel Eggens. I work for Continia Software as a partner account manager. And in my role, I am responsible for maintaining relationships with partners in Ireland, in the UK, as well as the country where I live, the Netherlands. And quite often we do demos. Also, we perform these combined webinars very frequently, which is always a nice and a good opportunity to display and showcase our solutions. Today will be on how Continia Document Capture powered with AI can automate all the process flows around your accounts payable. If you have any questions, like Willy said, you can put them in the chat box and we'll handle them later on. For now, I will take you through some of the processes within document capture. Document capture, of course, is fully available in cloud. And twice a year, you get a free upgrade, a free update for Continia solutions. Right after Microsoft releases their new versions, we also come with the new versions of the Continia solutions, where we take the opportunity to add as much or as many new features as possible. October and also in March and April. Today I will show you how can you process invoices with document capture and how can we make your life at the finance team a bit easier and give back some of your valuable time, I would say. But it all starts here in Business Central, where I have now the role center visible for me. In the role of the accounts payable team, I would need a clear overview of all the Continia activities, of course. And as you can see here, this is where we can see them. On the left-hand side, basically here you can see how many documents, how many invoices came in. They can come in via post, put them on a scanner, but that's the old-fashioned way, right? Basically, we connect your email address, invoices@companyname.ie, to document capture and forward all the emails with the attachments into the system. Documents or invoices will flow into the system automatically all throughout the day. You don't have to do anything for that. Now we can see in this demo system, we have 12 invoices ready to be registered. They've been imported. They've been scanned by the OCR scanner. And this OCR scanner is now powered with AI. And this is even saving you more time, but I'll show you and tell you later on in this demo. Before we dive into the system and do some work over here, in the middle, we can see purchase approval for invoices and also for credit memos. With document capture, you can approve purchase invoices and purchase credit memos. Later on, I'll tell you more on that. On the right-hand side, we've got purchase contracts. I won't dive into much for this demo as we only have 20 to 25 minutes. But purchase contracts, in a tiny nutshell, allows you to create contracts for any recurring invoices that you have, subscriptions or other agreements. And this will save you time on recurrently approving those invoices every month or every quarter. So if you want to know more in general, but also on purchase contract, I will advise you to contact your Simply Dynamics contact later on. But let's do some work. Whenever you use document capture, the document journal is where you will process the invoices from now on. So maybe a lot of you are still typing in data manually in Business Central, or maybe still another ERP system when you are considering moving to Business Central. Now in document capture, you will use the document journal for processing these invoices. And we can do different types of invoices, of course. PDF files can be handled. We can do XML files or electronic documents. Should you receive a Word file, then it needs to be manually converted to a PDF before our software can pick it up. If you have multiple companies in the database, no worries, document capture is able to distribute the document to the correct company for you. You can either choose to set up different email addresses for different companies, or you could choose to say, I want to use one central email address, and then we can recognize the company based on the text that is on the invoice. So in this example, whenever it sees Cronus UK Limited, then it knows, okay, this needs to be going to the UK company. And if it sees Cronus Ireland, for instance, then it knows we need to put this one into the second company. So today we'll start off easy. There's a lot document capture can do. We'll start off easy with a simple cost invoice and post it to one single general ledger account. Then we step it up a bit and we'll do some order matching, because also document capture is capable of matching invoices against purchase orders that you have in your system. And if we have a little bit time to spare, we do want to see how does document capture handle multiple lines on invoices, because this is where AI is playing a significant part in line recognition. So start off easy. We see this invoice here on the right hand side. It has been scanned by the OCR scanner. Scanner picked up, in this case, the VAT amount for company recognition, or vendor recognition, I must say. And based on this VAT number here on the right hand side on the invoice, let me enlarge it a little bit, it linked it to the vendor first up consultants in the system. If it doesn't recognize the vendor, then it will, or if there's no VAT number on the invoice, the system will look further for any other details, company name, contact person, address maybe. And if it doesn't make a match, then click on the three dots here in the top, and it will open up your vendor list and you can select the correct vendor. Could also be an invoice for a vendor that hasn't been created yet. Then you can see this button here, create vendor. Then from here, you can start creating a vendor using AI and start processing the invoice immediately. Now, how does the system work basically? So we combine AI with templates. And in these templates, we make sure that whenever AI fails, because it's great, but it's not perfect, whenever AI fails, you can make sure that in the template, you collect the right data so that document capture doesn't make the same mistake again. The first time you receive an invoice, we need to check the template. And this, as you can see here, is the master template, your starting point. But you can fully change or amend this to your liking. You can add fields, remove fields. If you want to link a specific vendor invoice to a dimension, maybe you can add a dimension field and have it automatically recognized and populated. If there's multiple VAT numbers on the invoice, then you could say, okay, add another VAT amount. So we are fully flexible. This is your starting point. First time you receive an invoice, you check, is the data that we need, has it been captured correctly? And let's say AI made a mistake. And you can see now I deleted the invoice number. You can also see in the bottom here, immediately a comment appeared. Invoice number is not correct. And I can definitely see this field is empty. So what do we do then to make sure that AI document capture won't make the same mistake the next time? With my right hand mouse button, I'll drag an orange bar. And with the left hand mouse button, I'll do the same and drag a blue bar around the value. Now you can see invoice number is populated again. Warning, or the comment has disappeared. Document capture won't make this mistake again. And then you move through the fields and just check, is this all correct? So that the next time, everything can flow through the system automatically. Now, the due date's been captured, which is great. But also, in this case, you can see it was captured on the right-hand side here from the invoice. But you will also be able to honor the payment terms that you have set up in this in the system, of course. Contact person, the order number, not applicable. VAT, the currency code, sorry. The currency code in this machine is GBP. but in your machine, it's most likely euro, right? In this case, it's GBP because, yeah, and that's also the reason why this field is open. We move on. It captured the amounts, and it also does a validation on the amount. So it checks, in this case, is this 20% of the amount ex VAT? And are these two the same as the amount including VAT? As I mentioned, it's easy to add a template field with another VAT amount. And if it's an invoice with no VAT, then the system won't look for it because it looks at the vendor posting groups. Then this is where we need to define once how do we want to process this invoice. Well, in this case, we need to define a type. And I would now, for this instance, say, post it to one single general ledger account. Whether it's a item charge or maybe a purchase contract, as I mentioned briefly in the beginning, you could also link it to one of those. But for this demo, we'll choose GL account. The next field, the GL account number. Clicking on the three dots will open up the GL account list in your system. And then we can say this is supposed to be posted to the office supplies. There we go, we select it. The system will ask, do you want to see, set this as a default? Yes, please, because then the next time I do not have to fill it in. Almost done with setting up the first template. Inspection and reporting, picked up from the invoice, but I can do different things here. I can type in something manually or combine fields from the templates. You are in the lead, you are fully flexible. And then we come down to the last field, which is invoice, credit memo, or prepayment invoice. Document Capture is able to automatically recognize whether the document that comes in is one of these document types. And now we're done. This is the point where we say, okay, we're ready. So we register the invoice and it will become a registered invoice within Business Central. And there we go, the standard purchase invoice screen. For some of you, a very familiar screen, of course. This is where you might even type in all the invoice data currently. Well, as you can see, Document Capture made sure that everything that was captured from the invoice has now been populated in the fields here. And from here, we can now say, all right, let's send this one for approval. Now, later more on the approvals. As I mentioned, we started off easy. Now we go one step up, because if you work with purchase orders, you create purchase order in your Business Central system, or you could have Document Capture to create your purchase orders automatically for you in the same way as we are currently handling invoices. But let's say there is a purchase order. You define, do I want to match this invoice against the order? Do I maybe want to match against the receipt lines? Or maybe to both. And there's different ways of doing this. Of course, you can do it manually. And this is exactly what I will do during this demo. But of course, on the template card, you can tick a box and say, I want to have this matching done automatically in the background. And then Document Capture, based on this order number here on the right-hand side, will automatically allocate the order for you or the order lines and do the matching in the background. If the match is 100%, the invoice can be registered and go through, and even without an extra approval. All right, where do we go in and say we want to match? First, this is, let's assume again, this is the first invoice for this vendor. First, we check all the details here, and indeed we can see it captured the order number, and this is one invoice for one order, but we can of course do multiple order numbers on the same invoice for multiple orders as well. Then we go into match lines, and then it will open up the matching screen that you get with Document Capture. Matching can be done on several things, of course, based on total amount levels, and then you only match the order and the invoice on the 16,000 and a bit pounds or euros. But you can also do line matching. You can set up tolerances on the different lines if you like. Yeah, there's many things that you can do. So we now said I want a manual match. I'll filter on order number because for this specific vendor, we say we want to match against the receipt lines. So we don't want to see the order lines that haven't been received yet. And then if I filter, it will only give me the lines that are applying to this invoice, to this particular order. And then I click on perform match, and it's 100% match. Now, this is a commercial webinar, of course, so it needs to look a bit smooth for you guys. However, we know that in real life, this won't be the case always. There is differences. And like I said, you can set up tolerances for these differences as well. Should there be a difference, you can easily spot it in this column. And also the line then where the difference is in will not be made bold like they are now. Go one screen back. And now, whenever I did automatic matching in the background, I could now see in the comment section down below here in the left, amount was fully matched against the purchase receipt. And also it will tell me here if there was a difference or if the tolerance level was exceeded. So you can take action and then you can assign the document here manually to a different person within the company. Or you could do an automatic assignment to a colleague. So again, there's loads of different things possible here. We have 100% match now. So we could now say skip the approvals because the purchase order has been approved. But for demo purposes, I would still be registering this invoice and request an approval. Now, we have some time left. So let me now also show you the last type of invoice. Oh, no, a bit too fast. Apologies for this. Let's go back into the role center. And then see how is document capture and the AI OCR capability working with different lines on an invoice, and how can we code those different lines also. Now, let's go back into our document journal and pick up on the invoice that initially I wanted to check, I wanted to process. This is the one, not publishers. And as we can see, it's three different lines. So yeah, not a lot of work, right, if you do this manually. But you can imagine then if this was like 50 or 100 lines on different pages, then it would take you significant amount of time. So then we set up first in the document card here in the top, how do we want to capture those lines? You do it once, and after this, document capture will know, okay, for this particular invoice, we always need to capture the lines. Recognize lines, as you can see here in the top, is now set to no. We can do it manually, but if you would like to do it manually, you wouldn't be here in the webinar today because we would like to do AI. Let AI do the work for us. And as you can see, whenever I click on AI, we see blue bars appearing around the data here. And also all the lines have been filled in. We do have some translations that we need to apply. If we would have like have a, how do you say this? An item reference card within the system, the translation would have been applied automatically, but I don't have this in my demo system. So that's when I say, okay, this, what is it? A London chair has a vendor item number, but I need to translate it to an item number that I have in my system. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll do the same for the Paris chair. Also need to code it to this one. And I have a mouse pad as well. And let's just say this also needs to be posted to the office supplies general ledger account. Document capture remembers this. So the next invoice that comes in, the lines will be captured automatically. And whenever we have another London Paris chair or a mouse pad, it will apply the translations automatically for you. I'll send it for approval. And then we jump into the approvals. When going back into the role center, we can see we did 3 invoices. And the 3 invoices have now moved into the purchase approvals, purchase invoices for approval. So as an admin, I can see where are all the invoices, with who are they waiting. Approvers receive a notification email. There's a link in the email and they click on it, and then they'll be directed either to, when they are approving in Business Central, they'll be directed to BC. And when they are approving in our web approval portal, then they'll be directed to the web approval portal. I'll click on the link in the email, or at least I'm simulating clicking on the link in the email. It'll open up the web approval portal, and it'll give me the 3 invoices that we just processed. On the right-hand side here, I would be able to set up my out of office. Here in purchase, I could see in the archive, what did I approve last week? Before we approve, how can we approve? Well, you can do it on in the standard BC way, of course, by approvers and amount limits. So I can approve up to 5,000 euros. If the invoice is below this amount, it only goes to me. If it exceeds the amount, it will go to Willy. Willy has a 10,000 euro limit. If it exceeds, again, his limit, it will go to the next approver. That's the first way. The second way is that you also can approve based on vendors. So you could say this wide world importers vendor always goes to Michiel or Michael, and another vendor will go to Billy. So you can differentiate per vendor. The last option is that you can approve based on dimension values. So should an invoice have 2 lines, maybe for different cost centers, you could distribute the document to 2 different approvers. Both are responsible for approving their own line. Now I can see we only have 5 minutes left, and I do not want to steal more of your valuable time. So I go in and approve all the invoices. I could also forward or reject the invoice, forward in multiple ways, as you can see over here, approve and then forward without approval. And if I have a question, I could send it to another person. I can put it on hold. Maybe I'm awaiting a credit memo. I can type this in the comments. And now let's jump into the role of Esther. Esther is the second approver within this Business Central demo environment. Esther happened to be approving in Business Central. She has also received a notification email now. And she, because of the limits, she only received one of those invoices that was approved by the previous approver. Same functions. I can see the invoice on the right-hand side, the order line or the purchase lines. And I can see what can I do here. Reject, forward, put on hold, change the document maybe. But for now, I'll say approve. After the approval, I can post the invoices because they come back to me in the finance team basically with the status released, meaning fully approved. And then I can say post them one by one, set up a job queue, automate the posting, or you could do batch posting. And after the posting process, document capture stops, and then yeah, you can pay these invoices by using Business Central Payment Journal. Tiny thing, it's really easy to retrieve back your documents. One of the options is the document search option here in the role center. And as the whole invoice is fully indexed, every word you can search for. So let's say we had this Paris chair, we know, but I don't have a clue where I purchased it. I type in the word Paris and it will give me all the invoices in the system with the word Paris. So it can be an invoice number, it can be a vendor name, anything. The whole invoice is fully indexed. And this is in a nutshell what I wanted to show you today on document capture. Like I said, document capture is fully available in the cloud and also for the on-premise versions of NAV and Business Central. If you would like to know more, feel free to reach out to Willy. And then, Willy, do we have any questions?
Yeah, there's a few questions, Michael. First, somebody asked me that they joined late and want to know if the recording, will they get a copy of the recording? And the answer is for anybody that's joined late, you'll get a copy of the recording by email automatically later on this afternoon. Two or three questions for you, Michael, as well. Someone just asked there, do all approvers require a Business Central license?
Very good question. I forgot to mention, to be fair, to be honest. But yes, if you approve in Business Central, you need an essential as a minimum. If you use the web approval portal that I showed, you can do the approvals with only a Microsoft team member license,
which is around €9 a month. quite inexpensive. Somebody also asked about, questions are starting to come in actually, more questions. Will document capture work when invoicing to multiple cost centers and expense codes?
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Okay. And someone's asking, I don't know if this person is already using document capture or not, but they're asking, is there any tutorials on how prepayment invoices work, or would this be the same as a regular invoice?
We have tutorials, we have videos, and we have an extensive description on this. I would like to suggest that I send you, Willy, the links, and maybe you can then send it through to the customer that is asking. Sure,
yeah, and we can share it on our website as well. Okay, that's fine, Michael.
Okay.
And somebody asked, maybe somebody was late. I can't remember if you said it at the start or not. If Continia Document Capture works with NAV and on-prem Business Central.
It does. Yes. It does work on a lot of older versions of NAV. However, the older the version, the smaller the chance of us of the version being supported still.
Yeah. Okay. Couple more questions, Michael. Does document capture integrate with other finance platforms, or is it just Business Central, or just Dynamics, I should say?
It's just Dynamics Business Central and Navision. Yes, okay. No other ERP platforms or finance systems.
Yeah, so it's just Dynamics. Does the batch register only work if all invoices have been fully matched?
Yes, they only whenever they have been fully matched, they will go into the last phase. So if it hasn't been fully matched, it will stay with you as an open invoice until it has been fully matched, and then it will move on to the next phase where you can batch post.
So somebody asked one I can answer. Is AI already enabled within Business Central? So if you're using Business Central Online, Copilot comes as part of Business Central Online, free and automatically. And then a final one for you, Michael. How will this work? If we have the purchase order creators already choosing the item codes, can we still match the purchase order with the AI uploaded invoice? I don't know if you know what that person means. I'll repeat it.
Yeah, no. I think what you mean is that whether if the order numbers have been created and applied to the translations in the order, whether they will be automatically applied in the invoice, and the answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Probably what they mean. Yeah. I think that's all the questions.
All right. So maybe in addition, as PEPL or e-invoicing is a big topic in Europe. I do want you to know that within the Document Capture Essential module in Business Central Cloud, you would be able to connect to the PEPL network. We are a certified PEPL access point, and within the Essential module of Document Capture, you'd be able to both receive and send electronic documents, invoices, orders, order confirmations. It works the same as with the PDF billing. So everything is consumption based, but I would advise go to Willy and the team if you want to know more.
Yeah, more pricing. And that's it. We're 2 minutes over, so we'll if anybody wants to ask more questions, or if they want to talk in more detail, just you can book a meeting with us through simpledynamics.com on the website directly. We'll take it from there. Thanks very much, Michael and Aileen.
All right.
Great. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Thank you.